What's up, guys? Time to show off a new distressed Pilot version 5 build. Lots of this is distressed. We have a custom laser dial that we distressed and then went back through and lasered to kind of give it the appearance of brush strokes at an upward angle. You can see it a little bit better on the insert. I did a little bit of sanding on there just to make it a little bit more crispy of a dial. You still have your distress markings on there. You got a little one there, you got one up there, you got one here, one here. But we mixed up our own loom on this and reloomed the hands. This has more of like a dirty yellowish brown kind of loom to it. Shows up nicely at night, but it's nice and distressed on there. Did an aged case that then I did brush strokes into. Did the same thing with the crown. You can see that it has been aged. Did a solid black Atlas bezel. This is no distressing done on that, just actual black. Star engraved milled caseback. We tried to do some aging back here, but the way we had to grind these down, that ager, essentially you can, when I went to polish it, it pretty much came off. So it doesn't really retain there, whereas it does on the back of the case. And on the front of the case. On the front of the case, I just, like I said, did some sanding into this, did some sanding up the side so you can see that brush strokes into it. Did an aged preview buckle. You can see we aged that and then put the brush strokes into that. And this is on a wristbound strap that is already aged. Flows smoothly with it. This is a backside loom dial. We'll wind it up just a little bit because I can show off the loom on here. So in the daytime, the loom looks a lot more distressed than it does at nighttime. Looks decently smooth. But you can see that we put it on with imperfection, and especially in that hour hand where there's a lot together, you can see that it is not nice and pretty and smooth. You can see in the 8, it's not pretty and smooth. So that was done by design. And then leaving some of the issues under the dial to give it some of that look. You just get little marks. That's actually from lasering. We were able to brush out some of them, and then you can get the rest of them out the more you brush, but the whole point to it was kind of give it more of a rough look. Kind of that Laco-esque look on the radioactive build. Back up just a little bit. Bezel on it will turn left, it'll turn right. This is a tension ring bezel. It is on there decently tight. Lasered minute insert to match black Atlas bezel. I can't remember if I showed those off or not. I think I did because we're 4 minutes in, so I'm assuming I did. You've got a rotor in the back. You just cannot see it. This is an automatic mechanical. So if you're not going to be very active, make sure you wind it just a little bit, which was what I was doing earlier. You back the crown off the threads until you can hear it and feel it clicking. And at that point you can wind. And a wind is a turn that way. Turning it towards you won't wind it, but I always do the back and forth wind because it's quick. And if I accidentally start threading it onto the crown tube, I can back it right back off and then kind of pull a little bit to make sure I'm keeping it in that wind setting. So 4 or 5 seconds of that before you put it on will keep time throughout the day. If you do it for longer than that, that will max out your 31-hour power reserve on it. You cannot overwind it, so don't worry about that. If you're going to be driving all day or something like that, you might want to do that for about 10 seconds. Just make sure you're good. And then after that, you're going to pull it to the 1 and only click. and you can now set your time. It does not have a hacking movement, so it's going to keep going. You'll also notice you've got a wobble crown. This deflects lateral pressure from going into the stem and into the movement, so when you're pushing and prying on it, you're not putting any adverse pressures anywhere. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 11:53 a.m.
11:53. All right, when you're good, you're going to push it over, get it out of that time setting, and then wind it down. And that is the build. As with every build, you're going to get matching beads. You're also going to get, I still had some of these, a dial matching lasered box. This will come with watch cleaner. This is good on all glass and metal parts, so everything here in the center, non-streaking, non-toxic, non-residue, as well as a microfiber. It will also come with a leather conditioner to keep that strap perfectly soft. If you ever feel that it's not, apply it on the front and back, but more particularly the back. That's what's against your skin. Let it soak in, bend it around a little bit. A little bit will go a very long way. And then lastly, you're going to get some fine scratch remover. This is Novus 2 from Amazon. We just repackage it. It is for your acrylic glass because you can scratch it. This is basically like polywatch. If you do, put a tiny bit of that on it and buff it out with your color matching microfiber. If the scratch is up and down, just go left and right, filling that scratch, and then haze it and buff it out. And if it's still there, wait a little bit, let that solidify, and then revisit it. You don't want to take out what you've just put in. You're essentially masking that scratch by kind of filling it and polishing it. So it's like a polishing compound. So that's it. That's the build. If you nick the case or you nick the band, you've just added more awesome into it. It's supposed to look distressed. So that's the build. If it's going to you, congrats. I hope you like it. And if you want me to build you something custom and unique, reach out and I'll see what I can do. And if you want to continue to see videos like this, like and subscribe as I put them up all the time. Thanks, guys.